Hi, and welcome back. I am trying a new format this week. I am doing, wow, lost my voice there for a second. I am doing live recordings to YouTube. I find that it allows me to have some freedom in order to converse with you and so on and so forth. So that's what's happening for now. Just to recap, my name is Ranbir Puar. I've been a life strategies coach since 2009. I'm also a TEDx speaker. I'm a podcaster of one called Living Light Radio, and I'm an author. My work is focused on serving and supporting individuals, kids, and families on their journey through life, helping them break free of their limiting beliefs. And part of this journey of going through this process as in the work that I do is helping people really learn to like themselves. That's sort of the theme of in and around the work that I do. And the theme of this channel is learning to like your family, which is super, super important because those relationships dictate anything and everything, every other relationship that you have. So a few weeks ago, I did a Q&A. So somebody had put forward a question about what to do during homework time, and I took some time to answer that for them. And I asked, do you have any other questions? And I'm going to look down at my screen. So the next question is, this is the real question, is why is my child cheating? So why does my child cheat or take shortcuts? And it's an interesting topic because what I would rather do is instead of focusing on the act of cheating, why not start with why people cheat, kids or adults? Because I think having that understanding of why someone would choose to cheat or take a shortcut, whatever you define as cheating, is different for everybody. That I have learned. But when you peel back the layers, you'll come to understand that the person or a person that cheats, first of all, it's an act, not a being. So if somebody cheats on something, that doesn't make anything and everything about them cheater. Like you can't just call them cheater, cheater, cheater. It's not applicable. So they did an act of cheating. And when they do that, it's because they don't feel worthwhile or they don't feel capable. So there's, layers here, as I said. So when you cheat, what you're really doing is taking that shortcut because you're not willing to invest in yourself. And to invest in yourself, you really have to believe in yourself, right? You have to believe that you'll be just accepted as you are, not as others wish you to be. And that can be hard in the parent-child relationship. You already know that. But when, the self-acceptance isn't there and the ability to know that you're just going to be accepted as you are, if you miss or fail, then cheating feels like a good option. Okay. So hear me out till the end. So I'm just going to go through this process. So answering this question. The other big reason that some people cheat is because they believe that failure means that their entire being, they are a failure versus being at a simple event, right? So they believe that others will look down on them, and they believe that the win means that they'll be seen as a winner by others. And guess what that does? When you're seen as a winner in the eyes of other people, then you get praise, you get adoration, you get all these compliments. So this person could be really keen and needing some validation, right? So sometimes that's the motivation. But at the root of both of these things is really, truly a low self-image. And the self-image, if you haven't followed my work, and this is the first video you're watching, the way I define it is how you speak to yourself when you're alone with your thoughts. It's the greatest barometer of the quality of your inner life. And that inner life dictates how you relate to other people and the decisions you make and the investments you make in relationships and in yourself. So someone that doesn't feel they're worthy of investing in, or someone that's busy measuring themselves with sticks, that belong to other people are willing to short circuit their long term growth, their long term success for that short term gain because they need to be validated in the moment. So, this is the conversation about long term, short term, because cheating is very, very short term. So, then you got to ask, what do they really gain from cheating? Well, we just sort of hinted at that. Most of the gains or the so called gains from cheating are really temporary because, in order to have sustainable long term gains, you have to kind of work for them in an honest and wholesome way. Long term success comes from struggle sometimes. It comes from investing in reality. In real life, your kids should be struggling with some things. They should have to work at some things. You know, it's really interesting. It's the struggle. It just means that you're pushing yourself to continue to grow and learn. Struggle doesn't always have to mean something bad. Sometimes it's just about actually expansion, right? It's uncomfortable building muscles sometimes. Your legs will ache after a good hard leg workout. Same thing happens with your mind, body, and spirit. Like when you're going through this expansion and saying, I'm going to put a stake in the ground and I know that I'm worth this and I am okay if I'm not number one. I'm okay if I fail. I can get back up. Like that takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage and a lot of mental and emotional muscle. So, with all of that said, coming back to the children, it's not that different for them. Some kids will find ways to cheat because they have that low self-image and they don't feel they have what it takes to make it in the long run, right? But some kids are going to cheat. And I'm just saying this, so it's not a judgment when I say this, please, because you are the best parent for your child. You're the perfect parent for your child. So, but some kids are going to cheat to prove their worthiness to their parents. It's just how they're wired, right? That's what their programming is telling them. So it could be coming from you. Maybe you've tied too much emotion to the idea of the win. And if you have, like I said, don't beat yourself up over it. Simply decide to evaluate and audit. Those two words are so important in parenting, evaluation and auditing, because, it really helps us become aware of what we're doing. And it helps you evaluate what winning truly means to you. Are you programming your child to feel like a winner or to look like a winner? Does that make you feel a little bit safer in your own skin? So just pay close attention to your language around competition, around tests. What happens to your emotional state as a parent? Do you become fearful? Do you become panicked? Do you try to motivate your child by taking the lead? Or do you step into coach mode by helping them understand the landscape and create a plan to reach their goal, which may or may not be a win? We don't know because it's their life experience. Cheating is a complex topic. Like I said, it's got layers, and whether it's cheating on a test or cheating on your spouse or partner, or business partner, all sorts of stuff happens, right? It's all based in feeling like you're not able to speak up and ask for what you need. It's based in not knowing how to fail or feeling safe knowing that if you fail that you'll be able to get back up, right? It's just not knowing how to invest in the long game, because sometimes your greatest gains are going to come from those big losses. And when you take the time to cheat, really, you actually are also going to miss the lesson that came with that challenge or loss or difficult situation, which you know what that means, you lived long enough on this planet to know. If you don't take the lesson the first time, it's going to come back to you in a different form, but it's just going to keep knocking on your door to tell you that you need to focus on this. So it's a matter of reinforcing the lesson, and that sort of just tends to happen. So you don't want to keep playing these bad experiences on repeat. You want to move to learning through joy, because it is possible to grow and expand yourself through joyful interactions. Your relationships don't have to be difficult for them to be good. You don't have to make them harder. You can start looking for what's right. And like I said, a person that cheats tends to look for that shortcut and isn't willing to invest in themselves for the long term. Anyway, so my hope with this sort of Q&A about cheating is that it'll inspire you to look for new ways to perceive the concept of cheating. And also, I hope it'll inspire you to look for ways you might cheat yourself in your life, because if you're working on strengthening your self-image, it's really awesome. If you're working on finding this sort of patterns in your own behavior and your systems, that if you're putting that awareness on yourself, your kid's going to end up role modeling that and looking for ways to constantly be able to feel comfortable, rolling up his or her sleeves and really looking at themselves and going, yeah, I can see where I have some work to do here. I can see the story I tell myself that goes with that temptation to cheat. And I can feel safety in knowing that if I fail, my parents are here to support me. I feel safety in saying, you know what? I don't like this thing anymore. It's not working for me. And learning how to use their voice and speak up for themselves too, because that's what happens when some people cheat. They just don't feel strong enough to use their voice. So look for ways that you may shortchange yourself, and you can guide your child in a more powerful way to work through their internal struggles too. So remember that when our kids behave like this, it can spark our deepest insecurities. And I would love for you to use that spark as a way for you to heal the parts of you that no one else can see. Because the beautiful thing is that journey of healing for you and acceptance, because you're the only one responsible for your healing, is that it inspires your children too, because you are really their most incredible role model. And like I said, the perfect parent for your children. So if you have a question about parenting and family, learning to like your family, let me know in the comments below, and I will try to explore it in another video. I'm so incredibly grateful for your time. I know how much effort goes into sitting and watching a video, so I appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you.